This is Wayne.
Thank you. Yeah, so for those who I have not met, my name is Wayne, and you would probably, I would have been ratted out by your children. I would have been known as the internet man. I am actually the IT manager at Bethel Christian College, Bethel Christian School, sorry. Yeah, so God graciously gifted me with that position, and I've just about finishing 2 years there now, and it's fantastic to be able to put into the enhancement of the education of your children. So, okay, my testimony. Hang on, let me put a watch on. Keep me accountable. Okay, so my testimony. I grew up in a Christian home, and I decided to give my heart to the Lord at about the age of 14. And then, not to bore you with much of the else, I progressed through life. And then when I was about 34, in 2017, I had a car accident. I was working for Telstra. I just moved back in with my parents at that stage due to a failed relationship. And yeah, I was working as a country technician for Telstra, so that means I was fixing the farm lines and semi-rural and rural lines, data and voice. And what happened was I was finishing a job in Preston Beach, south of Mandurah, and was on my way into another place called Kukunup, so that's inland. Anyway, what happened was, I believe on the way there was an intersection, and a tree grew up in front of the stop sign. Now, I can only go by police report here because they reckon my brain damage happened upon impact, and your brain requires time to file things away, and because it happened on impact, those memories are gone. They'll never be there. So what happened was they said that they can see by the skid marks I did see something, but I obviously saw it too late. There was another four-wheel drive coming from the opposite direction and hit the driver's side at 110 kilometers an hour. Yeah. So my car rolled 6 times into a ditch. The sound was so loud, apparently it alerted a farmer nearby. I did not expect this. Anyway, yeah, so the car ended up upside down. The emergency services were called, and it took them 4 hours to cut me out of the car. I was then airlifted to Royal Perth, my first helicopter ride, and I was not even conscious. So, and so, yeah, there's some photos of the car. I'll change it there in a minute. Yeah, so what happened was, yeah, they airlifted me to Royal Perth. Some of the injuries that I sustained, my file at Royal Perth apparently is about that thick. When they had independent medical reviews for me to get my driver's license back, the guy said he couldn't even understand that a guy walks through the door that can string a sentence together. So I had brain damage because the brain collided with the skull at that speed. Then the C2 in my spine, that had a fracture. My liver tore off and went into my lung. Then I had a fractured pelvis, and they've got no idea where my legs went because that part of the car was non-existent. My mother reckons that the angels hung around my legs. So yeah, that was the extent of the injuries. I was in there for 10 weeks, the longest time I've ever been in hospital. Initially, when they had me at Royal Perth, I was in an induced coma for 4 days because they said they can do nothing else. They leaving my body to try and sort itself out. Some of the, yes, I'm just trying to rattle some things from my mind. Yeah, okay. Yeah, so that was, let me just change that one. Up. Okay, there we go. Here we go. Yes. So that was So extensive injuries. It was. I had to learn everything from scratch again. I had to learn how to eat again because I kept choking on my food like a baby. I had to learn to talk again. I had to learn to walk again. It was interesting because, the talking part. I had a stutter for months, and actually it was, I think, for 2 years afterwards. But it was interesting because, for those that don't know, God birthed me with a worshiper's heart. God, God loves the praises of His people. When you guys lift your voice, the Bible teaches us it ascends to heaven like an aroma that gets into His nostrils. So, my passion in life is to lead people in worship, to get you guys to a place where you can worship God for yourself, and that aroma rises and meets His nostrils. So, because of those hoses you see there, they just when they receive you, their job is to save your life. It's not about keeping you pretty or anything. So they just shove those things in, and they don't know what damage they may or may not do in the process. They did not know. I've still got a scar on my neck from the trachea, because when they took that hose out, I still wasn't breathing. So they had me on a machine for a few days that were breathing for me. One of the specialists there said that I would not be able to speak for 2 years. The thing was is that, as you now know, I'm a worshiper, and I said to God, I cannot sing. I cannot not sing. And God knew that if that was taken away from me, I would really struggle to understand and appreciate the meaning of life. So anyway, I prayed to God and said, Lord, I need you to help me with my voice. I also made a promise to God that I will not sing anything other than Christian music. And to this day, I can honestly say that I serve God with my mouth and not Satan. I do not sing any secular music at all. That's a promise I made to God, and that's a promise I keep, because the Bible otherwise says that you are a hypocrite. That you're speaking with a forked tongue, and I don't want to do that. It was 6 months later, and all of a sudden, my voice was restored. I could sing. And it was amazing because, interestingly enough, as I said, I had a stutter, a really bad stutter. However, when I sing, it was flawless. So I could sing, no problem. I'd speak, have a stutter. So, so God really came through on that. Obviously, rehabilitation continued. They sent me home with a whole team of people. I had speech therapists, speech specialists, because I was a singer. I had OTs, I had physiotherapists. I had a whole team of people that went home, and that was under the WA government's Road Trauma Fund. So that extra money you pay on your license every year, apparently I was one of the first recipients on that. So recovery has continued. I'm happy to say we're 8 years later and I'm fully capable. God gifted me to be fully able-bodied. I've got a beautiful wife, 2 beautiful children, and hopefully very soon you'll be able to hear Charmaine's testimony, because Hollywood really wanted her very badly, and the story behind all that. But yes, that's my story. Thank you.